Caleb Boxx. What's going on, man?
What's up, man?
Welcome to the Sean Lowery Show podcast. This episode 50 something, 50,
50 something.
58, I think. But yeah, dude, I've been following you on Instagram and actually had your sister on the podcast, Michelle.
Yeah.
How's she doing?
She's doing good. Yeah. I mean, she seems like she's busy trying to get things rolling out there.
Awesome. Yeah. We had a great podcast with her and I started following you after that. And yeah, I've been following you on Instagram and I see you, you've been doing your traveling, you're driving around your nice car, showing off your YouTube revenue. So yeah, man, like what's the deal with that? First of all, like how old are you?
So I'm 20 now.
20. So you're young.
Yeah, I'm pretty young.
All right. I'm young too. I'm 31 and I feel like I'm 20. I feel like I'm incredibly young. So you got a long way ahead of you. It's crazy how like we can live to be, I'm planning on living to be 150 years old. So I got a long way to go.
Dang.
But you seem to be doing good shit as a 20-year-old. So what do you do, man?
What do I do?
Yeah. What do you do?
So pretty much is YouTube automation. So it's, you see those YouTubers make money online, but the difference with my business model is that you don't have a face out there. You pretty much hire people to do the work for you. So it's almost like that. Tim Ferriss, he wrote that 4-Hour Work Week book.
Yeah.
It's pretty much that, but put it into the YouTube context.
I hate the title of that book.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, it gets people's attention though. Think about it. When I say YouTube automation, it's marketing, right? When I say YouTube automation, everyone's like, oh, like automating YouTube, right? So it's marketing. That's why he named it that. But I mean, the idea is simple. It's outsourcing the work that can be outsourced and figuring out how can you make money from it.
Okay. So I have DM'd you a couple of times when you've been talking about YouTube automation and you sent me like a couple of pages that you run. And one of them was like, I forget the name of it, but the top video on it had like 13 million views. Mm-hmm. And it was like the top 10 water slides in the world or something like that. Mm-hmm. And the video was like, it had the top 10 water slides. It had footage of it. It had a voice talking over it.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested. Like, all right, YouTube automation, like start from the top. Like, what is it? Like start from the very beginning.
Yeah. You want me to the very beginning where like how I stumbled upon it or?
No, we'll get to that. But
okay.
But in general, like, what is it?
Yeah. Okay, so there's pretty much an assembly line, right? So you got, when you're creating a video, it's pretty much a full production, right? When you're creating a video, you're thinking about the video idea, right? First off, you have to come up with a really good video idea that will get views that people want to watch. And then the second thing is coming up with a thumbnail, something that will entice people to click on the video. Otherwise, even if it's the best video in the world, no one's going to click on it, right? So those two are important. You figure that out. The next assembly line key element is you have to get a script writer. Once you get the script writer who can write a script around it, something that the narrator, the commentator can read off, someone with a good voice. So then you hire the narrator will read it off and help you out. Then you get a video editor and the video editor will put all those things together to create the final product and then you upload it to YouTube.
Okay. So I know you like kind of pitch to people like, let me help you with your YouTube automation. Like, So you're saying that this is the business model. I come up with some ideas for things that are popular. And then I say it's a top 10 list. I think of the top 10 things and I write a script. And then I write that script out and I send that to a narrator. And then what about the footage? What about the video footage? You pull that from the internet?
Yeah, exactly. So you can find either stock footage or on YouTube. There's a guidelines called fair use that you can get away with. So fair use means that as long as it's edited and creative in some way, different than the original work, you can actually use other people's content. So we usually use the background image or video will be, for example, if we're talking about water slides, it'll be a water slide, someone going down a water slide. We go on YouTube, search people going down water slides, right? And you find different videos, you get 10 seconds clips from each one, and you put it all together, almost like a compilation. And then you put a commentary over it.
What about music? Like music, because there's usually like copyright issues with that on YouTube.
Music's that one avenue that I don't even go down because it's just so like back and forth. You'll get away with some music that you can just repost. But to be honest, for us, we're not trying to repost. A lot of what my clients and what I do is we're trying to make creative art with the stuff that's out there. So we're not just trying to re-upload something. We're trying to add to it.
So the automation is you find the footage on YouTube, you take it out, you clip it, you put it in your own form, and then you get a narrator and you outsource all of this
Yeah, pretty much. So I have a whole team that does everything. Like literally, it's at the point where I don't even have to do the video ideas or the thumbnails.
You don't have to deal. You don't have to deal with the video
I
ideas.
don't even upload the videos anymore. I have a whole team that does everything. So literally, you're making passive income coming in. You know, it could be 10,000 a month or so from one YouTube channel, and I don't even touch it. You know, maybe I'll look over it maybe 30 minutes every week or something.
Where do you get this team?
So, I mean, you develop it over time, but definitely Upwork.
Upwork. I love Upwork.
Yeah,
I use Upwork a lot. Every time I need something done on my website, put the project out there on Upwork. And then you can build relationships with those people.
Yeah, exactly. And then also sometimes, like, for example, I find some college students, you know, those people you can get for somewhat cheap, and then you just train them about business, about everything. And it's almost like an internship. And so I usually get my friends who go to college and they have a lot of free time. And so they want some side cash and they upload the videos for me and all that. So it's just being creative where you find people, really.
So you said you don't even need to think of the ideas anymore?
No, I don't even have to do that anymore.
Explain that. Like, how many channels do you run?
A lot. Like with clients and everything, probably 30 plus.
30 plus. Okay.
Yeah.
And like, how many on these 30 channels on average, how many videos would you upload? Like a week, a month? Like,
it varies, but usually it's anywhere from 3 to 4. We usually go in that area.
3 to 4, what?
A week?
Okay.
Yeah.
So like every other day, a new video.
Yeah.
And so you have somebody who knows what the channel is and knows what the niche is. And niching is very important.
Yeah.
And then, so you have outsourced the idea, the thumbnail, the headline, the description, and the uploading of it.
Yeah. It's very much all outsourced.
I mean, you make it sound like you don't do anything, and I respect that. But like, I know from an entrepreneur standpoint, like right now, there's 13 people in my building over there that are printing, shipping, unloading boxes. I have an operations manager, like, and I'm not doing anything at this moment, and it's running. The post office is going to come. They're going to pick up a couple hundred packages every day. Like, I'm not doing anything right now. I'm podcasting with you, but like, I'm still managing it. I'm still looking at it.
Well, that's what I meant. I still oversee it.
You oversee
That's what I was saying, like 30 minutes or so a week. Like, I just double check, make sure the thumbnail is good. You know, if there's a really bad problem with the thumbnail, I'm like, whoa, graphic designer, fix this. But so it's not like I'm not doing anything. But again, it's literally minimum work, right? It's 30 minutes of overseeing. So it's not like I just put it on autopilot completely.
Like, I have heard from many entrepreneurs, and one of the big problems that people have is they think that they have a business idea, they have the structure, and they're like, oh, okay, I'll just hire some employees and everything's going to go great. But like, hiring employees is hard, and then managing the employees is hard. But I guess I'm dealing with like maybe physical people. Like, you can just like boss these people on Upwork around, or like you have to build relationships with them, or like you
build relationships initially. But well, here's the difference. When you get to, and you probably know this, like with business, you can train almost managers underneath you, right? To know how to manage them. So all it is mainly training those managers, and then those managers will funnel down that to the team. And so it's something that you do over time. So obviously you don't want anyone listening to this podcast, I don't want them to think that they can do this right off the get, right? If you have no experience, chances are it's not going to be easy like that. You have to work your way through. I mean, I've been doing this since like 2016. So this is a developed formula that's been, you know, worked on over time with my team to get to this point where I'm at this, you know, area now.
And YouTube specifically, like, I guess now, how did you come up with this? How did you think of this? Like, why YouTube? Like, did you stumble upon it? Was it a business strategy from the very beginning?
Yeah. So,
or like, what's the deal with that?
Yeah. So when I started out, originally it was just like the only videos I really thought about was obviously, you know, the face in front of the camera, personality, a personal brand, right? That's all you really think about when you think of a YouTuber. And so originally I was trying to do my own thing as a kid, you know, trying to be somebody, because every kid wants YouTube to be a thing for them, right? What happened was where I actually ended up, so it was at a point in my life where I had like $200 left in my bank account. I quit a fast food job. In my head, I'm like, I'm going to figure out a way to make YouTube work. I'm just going to go out of my way to make it happen. You know, that mentality of like burning the bridges, and like, you know, Tony Robbins says, burn the bridges. So I was going to burn the bridges and make stuff happen. So I ended up going on YouTube, there was this YouTuber that had like 1 million subscribers, and he got it in like 3 months. So he got it super fast, from scratch. I'm like, okay, this kid knows what he's doing. He happened to go live streaming on YouTube, and on YouTube you can donate and you can send a text message when you donate. I had $200 left. So I'm like, okay, if I send a $200, it's going to grab his attention. No one does that, right? So I send $200 to him in the text and say, hey, if I can hop in a call with you, just 15 minutes, that's all the money I got. Just 15 minutes of your time, like just help me get in a call with you. So he's like, all right, obviously I'm down for that. So I get a 15-minute call with this YouTuber and I break it all down. Like, look, dude, I'll edit your videos for free. I'll do whatever. I just want to learn YouTube. That's the main goal out of this. I want it to be a job for me. So he gave me a shot because obviously he's like, well, if he's going to edit the videos for free, why not? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's a deal for him. So I ended up editing videos for another YouTuber and learning from that YouTuber for some time. And then what happened was where once I started to impress that YouTuber, he went ahead and introduced me to a bunch of the bigger YouTubers and all these, it's like a little, mastermind group that we had at the time. We were getting calls every day, break down YouTube analytics, all that. And in this group, actually, it's about, I think, 6 or 8 YouTubers. And of them, one of them happened to be Mr. Beast. So this guy, Mr. Beast, he has, I think now maybe 40 million subscribers, something insane now. He's growing very, very fast. And at the time, he only had 800,000 subscribers. So he was in the group.
What type of videos does he make?
So he was making normal personality videos, but behind the scenes, he had other channels that were automation too. So what a lot of these YouTubers were they started like me, like personality based, and they were somewhat successful personality based, but then they're like, how can I scale this? How can I make more money without me having to put more time into it? Right. So almost like looking at it from the company business perspective. Then they realized, okay, well, they ran to some big, YouTube channels. There's a YouTube channel called Looper, and Looper, whoever owns that channel, the CEO, literally it's a whole production team. They have people coming up exactly like what I just explained, YouTube automation, with these videos with no face, different commentators every video, different scriptwriters that put it together. So we're thinking to ourselves, how can we do this for ourselves? And so everyone stumbled into that idea and tried to figure it out by outsourcing it to different creators and video creators at the time. At the time, we didn't use Upwork. We just used YouTubers who had 1,000 subscribers. Like, hey, if you create the full video production, we'll pay you a flat rate. And then we end up making the percentage big money on the back end. So it started that way originally because we wanted to think, how can we scale this past our face? How can we one day get to that 4-hour work week, because every kid wants to be able to have freedom and not have to do anything and make money. I mean, it's the dream everyone wishes they could have. Yeah. So we got to that point, and so we started to scale that, and that's kind of how I stumbled into it.
Cool, bro. You're a fast talker like me.
Yeah.
I've had to work on kind of taking deep breath, slowing down, but I love your energy. I love your energy. Okay, so you're saying the faceless thing is interesting because I actually went about 2011. I had these like big ass Twitter accounts. I had a Notre Dame football account because that's my favorite team. Had like 70,000 followers. I had this like America account. I had like 90,000 followers. And at the time, you could actually like follow a bunch of people, unfollow a bunch of people. Twitter doesn't do that anymore. But like I knew how to grow Twitter accounts, and the strategy doesn't like apply anymore. But if you're doing these successful YouTube accounts and you're trying to go faceless and make these videos that people like, you must know something about like how to make it rise in the rankings and how to get people's eyeballs on it. Like, so you get a great video and you get the perfect headline, the perfect thumbnail, perfect niche, which is very important. Like, what other parts of that are important? Like, is there some behind the scenes? Do you run ads? Is it all organic?
It's all organic. Yeah. So it depends on what phase you are in the YouTube channel. Usually when you're starting from scratch or almost from scratch, the system I usually use is obviously mainly based on search ranking and SEO at the very beginning. So, to get discovered, most people search for things. So you try to figure out what are people usually searching for that has low competition, but high searching, high people searching for it. So I go ahead and I try to go ahead and create like a video in that,
hold on. Where can you get that information?
Yeah. So there's the tool TubeBuddy. There's also vidIQ. Those two tools helps a lot. you can simply download them. Then you go into YouTube and you search a keyword, and it pops up, tells you how many people are usually searching.
So
them
like,
versus
for
competitors.
example, what would be an example of one of those keywords you might search?
Yeah. So for example, one time we had this NBA channel that we started and everything, and we got it to, I think it was like over 20,000 subscribers, something like that in 3 months. So what we did with it was we originally started with going, so there's an NBA player called Luka Doncic. So Luka,
I've heard of him.
Yeah, in Dallas. So Luka, pretty much, he, at the time, this was his come up, right? Everyone's starting to talk about him. He's
Luka,
big.
I love him, dude.
Yeah, but there wasn't a lot really about him online yet, right? But he was starting to get traction. So we knew the search, for example, with TubeBuddy, I searched his name. We saw that the search was huge and the competitiveness was low for the what we expected. So we're like, okay, this is a good opening for us. So what we did was just simply started to make some NBA videos about Luka, and just one NBA video around Luka isn't enough. The way YouTube works is typically you want to make several, because then it shows that you're direct and niche down to that person. So they'll probably put you more likely, odds and everything to people. So we started to do more and more Luka Doncic video, like a ton of them, probably like 5 of them.
Yeah.
Before we
he's a bitch ass white boy.
Yeah. So we started to get a decent amount of traction on that and everything. And then we started to use that audience to then push into normal NBA videos, like top 10 richest NBA stars.
On the same channel?
On the same channel, yes. And so obviously they're now subscribed to us because they found us from Luka's video, but then they funnel into those other more competitive keywords. And then that pushes us to be able to compete with the bigger guys. Okay.
So it's all about the niching. And
yeah, exactly.
And like, it's actually called, the niching is so important for business in general. Like, I've heard it being called like a beachhead strategy. And that's relating back to like World War II, when we like took the beaches of Normandy and then we just occupied a little bit of it, and then like over time you like grow it, but you gotta step your foot in the door with a niche. So for anyone trying to niche, say you're trying to niche in fashion, right? Like you would start with like a very specific type of, I don't know, leather pants, and then like gain your audience through there, gain people who like that, and then you can build upon things they like. So that works in general for business. Find your niche, a very specific niche. The more specific, the better at first, right? Mm-hmm. Like Luka Doncic is one player. He's obviously incredible. I love him. But anyone who likes his videos will follow, but then they're not going to like unsubscribe immediately when they see other NBA videos.
Right.
So there's a lot of strategy in this. Mm-hmm. Like you're like, that's why I'm always interested in like the word automation. You said it's a marketing word, but if somebody wants to do this, it's not going to be guaranteed success. It's not going to be easy, right?
Yeah, it takes consistency. Yeah,
and also say I'm a huge NBA fan. I love the NBA. Mm-hmm. Say I don't know anything about the NBA at all. It might be hard for me to start in that niche.
Well, do you want to know what's funny? NBA, I didn't know anything about it either at the time. I went to one NBA game in the Dallas Mavericks. I'm here in Dallas. I went to one game. I was like, "Oh, this is nice. Like, I like the environment. Everyone's super hype."
But fun, you didn't grow up like watching the NBA or anything?
No, not at all.
No,
not at all. I didn't know anybody besides LeBron James. The really mainstream people. I didn't know anyone. Right?
Really?
So what I did was like, okay, but I know these people love it. I know there's a demand. So what I did is I simply searched it up, did a bunch of research. I would watch like religiously NBA commentary videos about it, just to understand and research what, like kind of looking from the viewer's perspective, what are they watching? What are they interested in? How do they think about NBA players? And what can we do to create a video title that would grab their attention that they want to watch? So, if you don't know about your audience, it's simply researching a ton and getting to know your audience, asking questions to the people who, if you run a business that will likely buy your products, what do they look for in your products? Why do they buy your product, or why would they buy your, just asking questions and doing your research. The reason why a lot of people fail at YouTube automation or any other business for that matter, is because sometimes they just do not ask questions to their own consumers to see what they like about it or what they don't like. And that's why they fail or why they are successful.
Yeah, that's funny. Like, people always, this is actually something that I've put a video out before. I've said before, it's like a lot of people say in business, they're like, follow your passion. And I understand. Yeah. I have mixed emotions on Gary Vee. He's been one of my favorite people ever. But actually very recently, I think he's been like shitting the bed a little bit and just like very repetitive and whatever, but a lot of generic stuff, whatever. But following your passion, that is on some level great advice, but I have a girls' clothing business. Mm-hmm. Like, I started selling t-shirts actually for like my Twitter accounts, Notre Dame Football America, like I had a lot of sales. And then like my girlfriend got involved and we found this niche of monograms. And I always say that like I could start a gothic clothing brand. I could start like any type of niche. Like I could start it. I just have to engage in it, learn what it's about. And like sometimes I think that our monogram business is blowing up. It's because I don't give a shit about all the little details of the products, but I just get to look at it from a business perspective. I'm like, this pumpkin shirt is selling a lot in this color, in this style, and we have a good margin. Let's sell more of these. So like follow your passion, I think is, and my passion is running a business. So like, I'm very passionate. I'm very happy. I love running my business every day. I love hiring people. I love checking the sales, blah, blah, blah. But like, I'm not passionate about the product necessarily.
Exactly.
So that's cool. That's cool that you said you didn't know anything about the NBA, but you just know it's something that a lot of people like. And you found that Luca had, what was it? Low search results, but high. What was that again? Low
competitiveness versus
low competitiveness versus high search results. Right. Yeah. So you can just base it on that. But like, if someone wants to start in YouTube automation and they're like, I don't know what niche to get into, like, how do they even go start to search things that have low competitiveness but high search results? Like you have to start with typing something in, right?
A lot. You have to type a lot of things. Again, this goes back to researching, going into niches that you probably would have never looked at. And just being curious. It's simply being curious, trying to get to know what do they think about. You listen to a video and they say a person's name. You're like, okay, let me search that person's up. If you see several videos and they keep mentioning that person's name in that niche, why? You search that up and see like research about that person. A lot of it is literally just studying. When it comes down to the passion topic, I think, again, back to what you said, you love business. So there's a level to it where there's a passion, but you don't necessarily like the product to that same level. And the same thing is for me. I love YouTube, but I don't love being the person necessarily on the camera, right? So, you can have an element that's passion, but don't expect the full thing to be passion, right? So that's why I always recommend people, I'm like, okay, when you go into a niche, you want to make sure there's a demand for it in the first place. If there's only 1,000 people ever watching the videos that you find, like let's say you find a niche and only 1,000 people ever watch it, if you're trying to make money from that, I mean, it's possible for like outsourcing, like if you're or outside products, like other products, like clothing or whatever. But I'm talking about just ad revenue or sponsor deals. Right. Most likely that's not going to give you any money, right? So you want to go bigger. So usually you have to settle for, something that you enjoy, that you can get to know and enjoy, that actually gets a lot of views. And you want to find that middle ground.
Yeah. So when you talk about like a customer or a potential audience or a buyer, like, I'm usually thinking someone who's going to take out their credit card and buy something on the website, but you're just talking about a view, a view. Like I have a YouTube channel. I just started my podcast. It's not huge. And like, I've never made a penny on revenue. Like what's like the process, like making revenue on YouTube? Because I had someone on my podcast who's a big comedian. They've had like over 1 million views on a lot of their videos. They said they actually get more ad revenue from Facebook. Like at what point do you start making revenue on YouTube?
Yeah. So, I mean, when you get monetized, so after like 1,000 subscribers, yes, 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, that's when you can apply for monetization. So my one channel, my channel is not that big. United Monograms channel, we don't put out a lot of videos, but it has about 5,000 subscribers, and we never made a penny on that one either. So you got to get also the watch hours. Yeah, the watch hours. Yeah, 4,000 watch hours. And then, again, so the way it works is with YouTube, it varies on how much you can make per 1,000 views, depending on the niche you're in. So, for example, NBA, something like $4. It depends on every season, but usually it's somewhere average is $4 every
$4 per every 1,000 views.
1,000 views, exactly.
And, so and why is it an average?
For me, it's an average because so what happens there at the very beginning, January, February, around that season, advertisers don't spend as much money as they did in the winter when they're trying to sell things for Black Friday or Christmas, right? So the ad dollars of how much you can make is less. So it slowly starts to go up every year, right? It starts January low and it starts to slowly increase over time as the seasons go by. So that's why I say average.
Do you think YouTube is fair in how they pay out?
I mean, to be honest, out of any other platform, I think so. Especially because YouTube's been around the longest, and I think they're the only ones that paid for that long period of time. I think Facebook just started like maybe 2 years ago. Like,
I saw you smile when I said Facebook. Like, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, yeah, because I know some YouTubers, some of the bigger YouTubers, they actually are now building a Facebook agency on the back end, helping other YouTubers and making money from that with Facebook. So
I didn't even know that Facebook gave revenue for
yeah,
video views.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, there's definitely other avenues. I think though YouTube to me has been around the longest, right? So I rather stick my chips into the longest running one, you know what I mean, than trying to put a lot of time into something that isn't long running yet.
Yeah. I mean, I love YouTube. YouTube is on my phone where it says I spend most of my time.
Yeah.
It's by far my favorite app. It's by far like my most used app. Like I just love YouTube. You know about like YouTube Premium or YouTube Red?
Hmm.
Like, why do you think that is awesome? Because I have a reason. I'm curious. I'm curious if you know.
Well, actually, it's funny for me. I don't even get YouTube Red. I used to. It's because I like to see the ads that pop up. I like to like watch the competitiveness to see like, okay, how are they advertising this? And if I see them all over the place, I know they're making money. So I like to study those ads. So personally, for me, it's more like a business thing. I don't care for YouTube Red. If I was just a consumer, I would probably get YouTube Red.
There's one reason specifically why I love. It's actually not called YouTube Red anymore, Caleb. It's called YouTube Premium. It's called
Premium,
YouTube
right?
Premium. But the reason why I love it so much as a consumer is, yes, I absolutely despise and hate ads more than anyone you've ever met, probably. I hate commercials. They drive me crazy. But more importantly than that, because you can skip it in 3 seconds as opposed to TV. More importantly than that, with YouTube Premium, if you're watching something, right? And then you get a text or you're going to another app, it plays in the background. And for me, that's like, this is the most important thing. And I pay like $9 a month for it, and it's the best thing ever. But so actually was on a podcast recently, like 2 days ago, and the guy put it up on YouTube, and he doesn't have that many subscribers, doesn't have that many views. But when I went to watch myself on the podcast, like 2 or 3 times, there was an ad in front of it. Now, every time I watch my own videos, there's never an ad in front of it. Like, is there something that if you don't have a lot of subscribers, you can still select an option to like run ads?
I'm not sure. I don't think that's been a thing.
Because I thought it was weird. I thought it was weird that like it played ads on it, but I don't know. Maybe it was because I was on a different account.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, but dude, YouTube is like. Do you think that YouTube might like lose some of its things over time? Because I mean, Facebook for a period of time, for advertisers specifically, was like all organic, and then they made people pay. Instagram's going through the same thing. Twitter had its heyday. I used to grow Twitter accounts. There was literally this app where you could follow people that had followed a certain account and then unfollow them, and you could just click all day. So I'll just be like clicking. And I grew these huge accounts, just like growing a niche. Like YouTube, you think like it's like a steady like platform like going forward in the future?
I think so. I definitely think so. Because I think out of any social media platform that made the most millionaires, it's definitely YouTube. You know what I mean? So I just think that YouTube will be around, and it's literally people's livelihoods out of anything, the most livelihoods I've noticed. Because I mean, you see kids making like $50 million a year off of this thing. So it's I don't see them disappearing, especially because like who can even compete right now? Like I've seen different competitors try to compete and they just disappear 2 years later because they can't fund it anymore.
Like Vimeo.
Yeah, and Vimeo also, you have to pay, I think, to upload.
Vimeo sucks, dude. No one ever talks about Vimeo.
Yeah.
But like, dude, so like, all right, so you want to start a channel, right? Like, it's not that easy. It's not like, what if you start and you get no traction? Like, would you, like, say, I don't know, whatever I guess if you pick an amazing niche, say you take your course, because don't you have like some type of YouTube automation course? All right, so say you take that and you pick a niche of Disney princesses or whatever, and you're making a bunch of your videos, and you're not at the 4,000 watch hours, you're not at the 1,000 subscribers, you keep doing it, it's just not picking up. Like, so many people, like, you hear about the kid who has 5 million subscribers, you hear about the kid who has 100 million subscribers, like all these TikTokers, like everyone that's just like, oh, all these kids are blowing up. Like, I don't know. In reality, it's not that easy to get this many subscribers. Am I wrong in that? Am I wrong because my only experience is putting my face on the camera?
It might be that. I don't know. Again, it varies. Everyone has different experiences, but I know that. So my usually strategy with it is I go with about 33 videos, somewhere around there, 33 videos. I'll post those videos in that one niche, really trying to figure it out. If there's no traction, like I don't even get like 10,000 views on a single video by then at that point, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm questioning it. So what I do is I go and do extra research. I try to see if there's YouTube channels that started recently from pretty much scratch and blew up in that niche. If there's still channels that are still getting views and still blowing up from, relatively scratch, that's a good sign that it's still working. I maybe should just look at what they're doing and modeling after the success and making it better. Because, sometimes that's what it is. If there isn't any channels, I can't even find channels that are like doing that, who are blowing up right now. What I then do is the final thing is I'll go to Google Trends and I'll try to search the keywords or different keywords relating to it and see if the trend just dropped down. If the trend dropped down, at that point, I'm like, okay, maybe I just got to do a new trend. Maybe I got to do a new niche altogether.
Have you ever like just got like given up on some channels?
Yeah. Like there's one that was originally in the celebrity niche and everything, but that's a tricky one because in the celebrity niche, there could be one celebrity that's popular for maybe a month and then they die off. So it's very tricky. So then what I ended up doing was I adapted. Instead of just doing broad like celebrity niche and trying to touch every celebrity I could, I was like, okay, I'm going to find one that is relatively popular for a lot of months, right? So this is back in like maybe 2017. Jake Paul was super big back then. Yeah. Jake Paul and Logan Paul, they were like getting so much attention. So what I did, I was like, okay, they're not dying off anytime soon so far. So I'm just going to double down on them. So I started to make really like narrow towards Jake Paul and Logan Paul videos. And like some of them got like 10 million views. Damn. So it's really just like trying to adapt your strategy and how you target things.
Okay. Yeah. So that's, I mean, it takes intelligence. It takes understanding of niches. Like it definitely takes some business mindset for sure. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about like the money, right? So you had $200. You spent your $200 on the guy's video. So then you had $0, I would assume, right? And what if someone starts from $0? Like, and how do they pay to start outsourcing? Should they?
Well, at the very beginning, you have to do it yourself then if you don't have money.
Right.
I mean,
It's just like
how it is. Just like yourself. And the good thing is you don't have to put your face on camera though, right? You can still not have to put your face on camera. It's just simply getting a microphone. To get a microphone, again, it goes back to you do have to work normal traditional jobs to accumulate that money to get a microphone and then maybe a laptop to edit, right? But once you get to that point, then you can just start editing videos and trying to, utilize your skill sets and developing your skill sets to be able to do it. Once the channel starts making like $500 or so, $500 to $1,000 a month, then you can just slowly start to outsource little things. For example, what I did when I started out, when I didn't have much money, is I started doing all the videos myself. And then I was made, maybe like $300. I'm like, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to risk this $300 I'm making per month. And I'm going to hire a scriptwriter to do all the scripts because I hate this. Like, that's the worst part for me. I hate the scripting, right? So I went ahead and hired someone to do it for me. They went ahead and started doing the scripts for me. And they're like, okay, cool. Now the channel, like now I can use that extra time to make more videos, right? To, make it more. So then the channel started to make more money. So then what I did is I took the additional money and then hired someone for a narrator. You slowly start to outsource every component of the video production. And then you have the full thing practically outsourced.
Did you ever do any of your own voiceovers?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Especially when I was going through puberty.
Like the voiceovers are funny because imagine that being your job. You just like read scripts and do voiceovers. No. Like, so you got the voiceover guy, you got the scriptwriter guy. Like I've like a little bit flirted with outsourcing like some blogs, some posts, some content for my business. We don't even do a lot of it anymore, but like, what if they write the wrong shit? What if it sucks?
If it sucks, I mean, well, you just got to use your own thoughts to like read off the script and be like, is this bad? And you hire someone new. If you don't notice it, sometimes that actually ends up working in your favor. For example, with NBA, apparently the narrator wasn't pronouncing a lot of the names correctly. I didn't even know this because again, I'm not in.
You're not a fan.
It's not like really know it like that. I think they was pronouncing Luka Doncic's name like Luka Doncic or something like that, and everyone was so mad in the comments. But that actually helped us. That helped us because there was more comments, way more engagement. So it actually became beneficial for us at the very beginning, and then we adjusted it because then the dislikes started to get really crazy. We're like, all right, we got to fix it. But it actually sometimes ends up helping you. But it really is just reading off the comments at that point, like looking at the feedback that people give you on the video and adjusting.
What's the deal with dislikes?
Dislike.
Did they help? Like, I understand how
It's like,
someone can comment and comment something negative, and it's still a comment, and it looks like engagement to the algorithm, right?
yeah.
But like,
So
what about dislikes?
So it's interesting. What I've noticed is it's almost like if the person still watched the entire video and they left a dislike, it's almost like it doesn't matter. Like, because they watched the entire video, which means they were intrigued though. So, I mean, YouTube as a business, they just want them to stay around. So as long as they're not leaving the platform after and they watched pretty much the full video, they're like, even though you left a dislike, seems like you were still intrigued. So I don't know what's happening here. And we're putting more ads in front of your face. So we're kind of happy about it.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know. It's weird.
So what are the metrics that you look at for a good performing video? Is it likes? Is it comments? Is it watch time?
Yeah, watch time, audience retention. Audience retention is like,
What's
the
that?
average, how long people are watching the video for.
Okay.
We try to make sure it's above like 40% of the video. We always try to aim for around that amount, 40%, and then click through rate.
That 40% means that 40% of the people who clicked on the video and started watching it watched the whole thing.
Pretty much, yeah. It's an
Okay.
average, yeah. So and then also we look at click-through rate. Those are the two key ones. Click-through rate is the thumbnail and title, like how many people, let's say 100 people see it on their homepage, and of the 100 people, 10 people clicked on it. That means there's a 10% click-through rate. We look at that. We try to get it above like 7% usually. So
Okay. And I know the thumbnail is important. Dude, I have clicked on a lot of videos that suck because I like the thumbnail and I like the headline. I'm not gonna lie. It definitely works. Like, so I know the thumbnail and I know that the main headline are very important. What about like the description and the tags? How important are those things?
tags aren't as important as the description or title. And I talked to like one of the heads of search and discovery of YouTube. So he literally said that. So tags are something that you really shouldn't put more than like 10 minutes of your time in. What I literally do is I'll go and find like popular videos in the same video idea and look at what tags they use and just copy it and then like add a few extra.
How do you do that?
TubeBuddy. TubeBuddy gives you that tool that we talked about.
TubeBuddy. That is seems like an important site. That site gives you the search result stuff.
Yeah, it's like a Chrome add-on. It's a Chrome add-on. Yeah,
it's a Chrome add-on. Okay.
So pretty much you can copy the tags and I just put it in my video and I add a few extra. And I just keep the tags. I really don't spend too much time on the tags because apparently they don't matter as much. But it's still good to have them.
How like long of a description? Like
description wise, we just do a paragraph. In the paragraph,
what's important in it? The keywords.
Kind of keywords. It's just describing the video and trying to put the important keywords.
Like what if you write it? What if you just like write a bunch of keywords that make no sense when you read it?
I don't think you're supposed to do that. But then again, I talked to the head of Discovery. He said, like, really, I don't like, they used to punish people for it, but now they don't even try anymore. But just to be safe, I don't even do that. But I know people who do. So for me, what I do is I just write a paragraph talking about the video, but I try to like almost sneakily, like, I don't know, but put the keywords in there. Yeah. And that's kind of how I try to get away with it.
Okay. And what about like, there's a bunch of YouTube videos that I watch, a bunch of channels I probably watch. I don't always hit subscribe, like subscribing, right? Like, how do you get people to subscribe? Do you just say at the end of the video, subscribe? Do you link?
I mean, it's more so people don't usually subscribe after the first video. They do after like several videos. So for example, this is how YouTube algorithms work. If you're clicking on a video and you watch pretty much the entire video, they're going to notice, okay, this guy seems, even if you didn't leave a like or subscribe, like, this guy seems to be kind of interested in it. So they send you another one. And then if you click on that, they're like, oh, like we got him, and then they keep sending you more. Eventually, like human nature, if you're enjoying and you see the channel several times, and you're enjoying every piece of content that they post, you're going to subscribe. So subscribers don't matter that much. And more so it's just how many times the person keeps coming back to you.
Yeah, because I know how the YouTube algorithm works and I love it and I appreciate it because if I'm just bored, I'm scrolling through my YouTube, they'll show me like shit that I'm interested in. Obviously the algorithm's great, but there's probably so many channels that I have liked videos, watched videos, maybe commented. I don't comment that much, but I don't subscribe to them. So you're saying subscribers aren't the be all end all. What's more important, subscribers or views?
Oh, views, definitely.
Views, because that's what you get paid on.
Yeah. And in fact, it's actually subscribers can sometimes be bad for you sometimes because, for example, if you have a really big channel, let's say 1 million subscribers, and you start to post a little bit different type of content, most likely a lot of those people will not click on the video or they won't enjoy it. And that actually hurts you if you try to pivot to another niche because now the subscribers are holding you back from being able to do that. It's better to start a channel from scratch and go into that niche at that point. So subscribers can actually be almost like devastating if you're big enough. I don't know.
Dang, that's interesting. That's interesting. Subscribers can be hurtful because they're expecting something.
Yeah, and that's why sometimes like I'll end up selling some of my channels. Like the moment it gets to that point where I see the trend dying, I'm like, okay, this trend doesn't look like it's going to come back anytime soon. I immediately go to like some of my friends who are investors. I'm like, hey, you want to buy this? And like I sold a channel for like $35,000 just quickly. I'm like, all right, I'm good.
$35,000.
Yeah, $35,000.
How many subscribers did it have?
Like 200,000.
And somebody must not have been an idiot. They must have seen value in that.
Yeah, he was a YouTuber too. Actually.
So what was the niche of that one you sold for $35,000?
Yeah,
movies. So you weren't feeling it anymore. You looked to sell it. That's a big sale.
Yeah.
And I sold a Twitter account once for like $2,000, but $35,000. And then they took that and they jumped back. They were like, I like this audience, and they made movie videos about.
Yeah, they're still doing videos. It's actually doing really bad. I ended up flying to Miami to try to help them out with it because they were like, this isn't working for us anymore. So I flew to Miami to try to look at what they're doing. It just so happens the trend won't come back until Corona starts to disappear because the movie theaters are not opening any movies right now. So it's kind of messing up on them right now. But I mean, they're making like $2,500 profit a month. So it's not horrible, but they're not going to get their money back until the trend comes back. So
when you say profit for a channel, right? So you don't have to pay anything to post the video, but I see your like Instagram posts or stories where you're showing like the little chart and it has like the daily revenue. It's like 250, 500, whatever it is. That's obviously just revenue. And that just goes right to your bank account. Does YouTube take any fees or anything?
No, that's after the fees are taken.
So YouTube does take like some fees?
Yeah, I think it's like 55% or something like that YouTube takes. And then they give you. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's something like that, somewhere in the 50s or something like that.
So they take $250 of ad revenue in a day. They take 55%.
No. The stuff that I'm showing on my Instagram is all mine.
Okay.
What I'm saying is what they made on the back end was actually probably $500 total gross.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And they took a cut of that.
Okay. And they show you that?
Yeah, you can see it in another dashboard, but I only show the ones that like.
It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't matter, right? I mean, you're just trying to get your revenue up.
Yeah.
But then your expenses are your Upwork people, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever had like a manager who was managing one of the accounts and then never got back to you or quit essentially?
I mean, not really. I mean, the ones that I have, again, they're like people I already know personally. I don't usually use Upwork for managers because they have control of my channel now.
They're people you know. They're
people
friends?
I actually know in person. Yeah, people I know in person. Again, college students that I know personally that I then train up to be able to do it and everything.
I see you traveling a lot on your Instagram.
Yeah, recently.
Where are you going?
For example, so there's a place called Lubbock, Texas. It's a college town.
Yeah, that's where A&M is.
Actually, I think A&M is somewhere else. That's Texas Tech. So Texas Tech is in Lubbock. So yeah, we go there because we have some talent there, and we
talent.
videos.
And what is talent to you?
So they're actually doing the narrations and scripts. So we have some college students doing narrations and scripts. So I go over there to train them up a little bit and help them out. And
so are these your employees?
The people in Lubbock, I don't know them. They're more so like mutual friends. So for example, we know a friend, and then that person referred that person, says, hey, you can get a job here, and then we work with them. So.
Why don't you just Zoom with them?
We can, but we also have friends out there too. So it's a mix.
Okay. All right. So it's a mix of business and pleasure.
Yeah. And also I just found it better sometimes if you can meet up with them in person because they stay around longer. Like if they meet you in person, then over a Zoom call, they almost seem like they like you way more.
It's
it's more of a connection. Yeah. So there's also beneficial elements to it when you meet up in person.
So is your business do you have a official incorporated business?
You mean paperwork? Yes, but actual.
I mean, I don't think that shit matters. If anyone is a young entrepreneur and they're trying to start a business, I feel like some people they get caught up and they're like, well, I need to register it and I need it to be
right.
I need to get a logo and I need to get it official. That shit doesn't matter. If you have money coming in and you have a niche, that's way more important than any official business paperwork. But and I mean that. It doesn't fucking matter. I didn't get official business paperwork till way later on, till I had to or whatever. But you do have official corporation paperwork?
LLC, yeah, corporate.
Like,
Yeah.
what's it called? The Caleb Boxx LLC?
Nah, it's Jet Speed Studios.
Jet Speed Studios. Okay. And does that, like, do you have payroll?
It's only for one employee is what we have on it.
Okay. Okay.
And then we do contractors for everyone.
Okay. All right. It's 1099 contractors. Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay. So you're just like paying people like, and they're not your employees, but you're just working with them.
Pretty much, because if we, I mean, you know this, man, if you got employees, you have to sometimes pay for healthcare. You have to pay for that. It's just a lot. And for our business, it's very flexible. Like sometimes we like, we'll get tired of the narration. Like the audience doesn't like the person anymore for some random reason. So we kind of have to get rid of them and hire someone else. Right. So we don't want to put them on payroll because, you know, we may not have them later, you know?
Right. Damn, dude. Like, you make it sound easy. Like, you make it sound like it's no problem. Like so you talk about, you have a 6-figure business, right? Like 6 figures. I always like when people say that, it's either like 100,001 or 999,999.
Not the high end ones.
Like between your 30 channels and what? So you also have a course?
Mm. Well, the 6 figures is like my personal YouTube channels. So again, I said 30 channels. That's with clients as well. So, you know, my personal channels is making 6 figures. Yeah.
And how many is that? That's the 30?
No, that's 5. We have 5 personal.
5.
Yeah.
So you personally really focus on the 5. And when you are personally taking flights to hire the narrators and the script writers, like those are for your 5.
Well, yeah, but we also hire them for the clients too. I mean, that's what clients pay us for.
That's part of your thing. It's like, I'll provide you
the talent. We train the talent. We manage the whole channel practically for this.
I think it's funny that you use the word talent for that because it is, but it's someone sitting there writing a script, and it's someone with like an amazing voice, which I don't have at all, but an amazing voice. And like, do you ever like auto tune up their voice, or is it all natural, or like
it's all natural? Like,
how do you find someone with a good voice? Like, what is the process like for that? Do you put out an ad and then have people send in like the little video bits of their
like
voice?
A sample. Yeah. And we just go through the ones that are really bad. We don't do, but to be honest, it's not like we're finding someone perfect though. We're not trying to find someone perfect. We're just trying to find someone that's normal. You know what I mean? And then use their voice. So we're not trying to find someone that has like that trailer voice.
Like Morgan Freeman type voice.
Yeah. We're not trying to get that level of narration.
Yeah, but I mean, you do. Sometimes I wonder, like, not on your videos, like I don't necessarily know which ones yours are, but like sometimes you hear a YouTube video and it has like the little robot voice kind of. Is there some type of technology that you type words in and it puts out a voice?
Yeah, there is, but I don't think that's allowed on YouTube. Like you can't. There's only a few channels that get monetized with that because they somehow got away with it without the review team really paying too much attention to it. But most channels who have robot voice now don't get monetized. Okay, they look at it as more spam than anything else. Now.
You want to know what YouTube videos I hate? If it's like got a good thumbnail, a good title, a good content, and then you click on it, it's got good music, but it just has words on the screen and no one talking. I hate that. Yeah. Cause like, I'm like, oh damn it, I gotta read now. And like, so I think the voice is important and you gotta get real people. That's cool. But damn dude. Yeah. YouTube automation, dude. It's crazy. And I saw you said, so you're only 20 years old. Like, are you in college or anything?
No. I dropped out of high school.
You dropped out of high school.
Yeah.
Like, what's it like? I know a little about your family. I know your sister. Where are you guys like from?
It's Kansas City. Yeah,
Kansas City, right? And your sister is still in Kansas City.
Yeah, she's in Kansas City. I moved to Dallas in like 2019.
You dropped out of high school, and your parents were cool with that?
Yeah, I mean, well, okay. So what happens when I dropped out of high school? My dad, I begged my dad, but my dad was like, "All right, I'll give you 6 months to make it happen. If you don't make full-time income from YouTube in 6 months, you have to go back to school and double time, right, to catch up." So it was one of those good things, though, because it was a motivation not to have to go back. So yeah, it was definitely good. It was helpful, especially because I was homeschooled, so it's a little bit more flexible when you're a homeschooler.
Oh, you were homeschooled.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was definitely different. Like it was good though, because you get flexibility, right? So a lot of times it allows you to like kind of work more in the evening for school and then do your YouTube stuff early in the morning.
Well, not everyone like has the YouTube shit.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like why were you homeschooled?
Why was I going to school?
No, why were you homeschooled? Like, what was that reasoning?
I was guess it's like ever since I was like a kid, my parents just, I guess it's the way they wanted to raise me.
They just wanted to do it. That's awesome. But okay, so like you're 20 years old. Like when I was 20 years old, I was in college. I was partying it up. Like, do you ever feel like you're missing out on a college experience at all?
Not necessarily. I mean, that's also why I have a second apartment in Lubbock and everything. So I'll go over there, and there's the college party. It's with Corona though. Like half of the parties are not happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I still do occasional parties, but I've never really been a party kid.
Really?
It's just never really.
You're not a party boy.
Nah, like for me, I'm always the sober one, right?
I think your sister told me that like your parents maybe don't drink.
No, they don't drink. Yeah, they don't drink. Yeah.
You don't? Do you?
No, I mean, I have drinks.
Well, you're only
before,
20, but yeah.
Yeah, I've done drinking before, but it's like not really my thing. Because I don't even. It depends on the drink. Who knows? But the drinks I've had, like a screwdriver, like I'm just gonna have normal orange juice. Like like I don't care for the buzz or anything. So
that's cool though. That's respectable. Like I think it's interesting about going to college because it's so expensive and it's most of the time on paper not worth it. But I think for a lot of people, it's not worth it on paper, but it's a great experience because you're making everything you do sound easy, but not everyone is smart enough at 20 years old to find niches and like figure things out and then like outsource all this stuff. Like not everyone is smart enough to like pull that shit off.
Well, yeah,
like,
it's 4 years in the making though, right? So it's in perspective. You know, you have to realize it's 4 years in the making.
So you're 20, and when you were 16, you started this, but like you had to have some type of like energy or intelligence or like perspective,
learning from other people, man.
But you had drive at least.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, I drive because I didn't want to go back to school. So like, there's definitely that drive, and I didn't want to stay. I saw my friends at a young age go to college. Like my older friends, they pretty much get out of college and they can't even find a job after $50,000 in debt. I'm like, where's the logic in that? So
I think I was no logic.
I just studied. That's what it was. I'm always the curious guy who would always study people in the room. And so I think that's what it was for me.
Yeah, dude, that is not a normal 20-year-old thing. Like when I was around 19, when I was 16, I was just a bum. When I was 19, I started to pick up a little bit and really like get that good perspective. And then at that point I was like, I'm just going to finish college. And then right after I graduated college, I started my business and I've never stopped learning. Learning is everything. And a lot of people just don't give a fuck about that and don't want to learn. But dude, that's awesome that you're just young and like you do make this sound. I feel like you make this sound easier than it is.
It's probably because like I broke it down now.
Right. You're like, no, just this, and this. But you gotta, and that's why like, what have you had more success with, your actual channels or like this like course on helping other people?
What more success?
Like have you had more success with your own channels? Or like, have you had more success with like the coaching and the helping other people do
right now? I
channels?
still have more success in my personal channels.
Okay. Yeah. And like, is the coaching thing kind of a new thing?
It's new. Yeah. It's
okay. Cause I feel like it's easy. Like I've said a few times, I feel like it's, so you got something going on where you're doing great with it. And I feel like, I don't know, courses are something that's very interesting. Like I've never taken a lot of courses. Like I know a lot of people pitch them. But if you get someone who takes the course, I feel like they can't just like learn everything you know. Like, have you had any success with the course? Is it a new thing? Like,
there's been students that have success. Yeah,
and they just get like 1 million views like right away.
Yeah. Well, not right away. It takes like maybe 3-4 months for them to actually accumulate over time. But yeah, there's been some that's been able to do that. So it's not like it's impossible. You can do it. But again, it goes back to the fact that you have to really want it. You know, you have to be very curious and you have to be studying the game very, very closely, right? Because all those guys I've talked to, all the students who was successful.
You got to study the game.
I asked them, I was like, what did you do? Because obviously there's some students that haven't been able to do what you do that fast. They're like, I just studied. Like I did, and I like looked into it. It's like they really, really studied their niche. So I think it's just about studying your audience really hard is really what it is.
That's what it is, man. Studying the game, knowing hard. Like every great athlete, every entrepreneur, they study and they obsess over their audience and like stick with it. Like what are your like 5 channels, like the niches?
Yeah. So one of them it's in the celebrity niche. It's more micro towards like a specific celebrity like Kim Kardashian and like the Kardashian Kanye West. So we have that. And then the other one is like water slide, stuff like that. More general top 10 channel and everything. And then we have one in the sports. And then the other 2, I don't really want to disclose.
Top secret information. Yeah. Oh man. The Kim Kardashian one does well?
Yeah, it does well. I mean, it's not crazy though. That's the one thing. It's not
like
crazy.
what's your best one? One of the secret ones?
Yeah.
is the reason you don't want to disclose it because the niche is so good and you don't want anyone else to know the niche?
It's one of those things where once you find a good niche, it's like you really want to use that niche until it's dry, you know? So yeah.
If I set my goal to figure out what it was and I use that, like, what's that website? TubeBuddy. If I use that and I did some deep detective work, would I be able to figure it out?
Probably not. There's too many niches out there.
Yeah. Like okay, that's cool though. That's interesting. But damn, dude, YouTube automation. Like, so I like one thing I think that's interesting is like you're saying don't put your face on the camera, and I get that because my business is going great. My podcast is going pretty well, but like I'm not fucking Joe Rogan. I haven't blown the fuck up, but like people aren't gonna just follow me. They don't know who I am. Like, is if someone does put their face on the camera, like that's probably on averages like a longer path to success, because I'm sitting there on YouTube. Who am I going to click on? Luka Doncic's top 10 dunks or some guy I've never seen talking about some opinion? Is that pretty much it?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, damn. But like you can take Jake Paul and Logan Paul. So like the videos you made about them, like you get the footage from their channel.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So again, it's fair use, right?
Fair use. Describe that real quick. Fair use.
So the way we edit it up is we'll like, let's say the video is 10 minutes. We go to Jake Paul's video. He has a 10-minute long video. We'll go ahead and download that video and we'll only use like 10, 15 seconds of that video. So we'll put it in and then we'll get several of them different videos and put it together. And then we'll cut out the audio and put our commentary over it and some of our own music. So that's more so the fair use.
Have you ever got a video demonetized?
Yeah, there's been a few, but you can always, if you edit in fair use, you can usually appeal it and get it
what
back.
was the reason you might have a video be demonetized?
I mean, it's just one of those things. It depends on the niche. Obviously, like some niches, the people who own that content just don't care.
So is it usually because it's reported?
Yeah, okay. So companies that own that content, they have like an ID system within YouTube. So YouTube will have a bot that goes through like an AI going through.
I know they have a bot for music.
Yeah, they have it for video footage as well. And so it'll trigger it, be like, wait, there's video footage that's the same as this video, and they'll notify the person. The reason why we do like 15-second long clips or so is because it doesn't notify them unless it's 30 seconds plus. So that's like kind of the loophole. And then whenever we do get like the copyright problems or content ID on them, even though we're using 15-second ones, is because it's manual. So that means someone actually found the video because it actually went viral and they're like, oh, wait, that's my content. Then they wanted to get a little bit of side cash from us. So they try to take the money from us. And then we have to appeal it, go through the process, which takes a week. And then we get the money ourselves because we're editing it fair use and following the guide.
So like you appeal it and then you get the money and the money that you missed out on.
Yeah.
And like, have you ever like did Jake and Logan Paul reach out and like do that?
They're MCN, like their network.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you hear about YouTube like demonetization in like the political world, like right. Like I know your sister's into politics and stuff like that. Like we talked about that when I talked to her, but like, so the people who make like, have you ever been involved in a channel that like has been like a Trump channel or a Hillary or like a politics channel?
I was always thinking about it, but
because that's something that probably has views and stuff like that. And probably,
it definitely has.
Got
I have some friends that have gone into it. It's just not really something I want to touch.
Yeah, you don't want to touch it, like just because of the demonetization possibilities.
Demonetization. Yeah, exactly. There's demonetization, and then like the for example, if you get like a lot of dislikes,
because your face isn't on it, you're not going to get canceled.
No, 100%. But so the way it works, if you get a lot of dislikes that pass likes, it kills the video. So with politics,
I thought you said dislikes didn't matter.
Oh no, only when it passes the video. I'm talking about. Really? I thought you meant like if the likes are normal, there's just an extra dislike.
Okay, so if there's more dislikes, say there's 350 dislikes, 112 likes, that's bad.
Yeah, it's usually bad. It can usually kill the video. So that's what I'm saying. So it's one of those things with like something that controversy. Like I don't know. It's one of those things where it can happen. Yeah. And so I don't want to put $30-$40 into a video production and then it get shut off because of all those hate. So.
$30-$40, that's it?
Well, it depends. Like every niche is different. How much you have to pay someone for like the videos that I have that's more high quality is like $100 a video. For something like
Dude, that's not a lot.
Yeah, for something political, it's probably gonna be like $30-$40.
That so when you produce, say, that top 10 water slides, that only costs like $40 to $100.
No, that's more but production work because you have to have a full script writer. I'm talking about like politics, like that stuff is very easy to hire someone who wants to, because there's so many out there who want to talk about politics.
Okay.
So it's cheaper, right? It's like demand versus supply, right?
Like,
so
you're talking about a narrator?
Yeah, well, no, scriptwriter and narrator.
Okay,
I mean, narrators are actually typically the same amount of cost, but definitely scriptwriter. Scriptwriter 100% is going to be up and down.
Because they have to know a little bit about like what they're writing about.
Exactly. And what I'm saying is with the politics area, you can probably find a narrator and scriptwriter in one for the politics. So that's why I'm saying it's cheaper, because you have one person doing it. So yeah, I mean, that's why I was thinking in my head, I'm like, it's probably going to come out to be like that if I went into political spectrum.
Interesting. You got to take on politics?
My take on politics?
Yeah, you got it. You got any opinions?
Trump's probably going to win at this point.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, I think the normal American, I think most people are in the middle. So I think the normal American is like, why? And I think they're just going to end up either not voting or voting for Trump.
Where are you at? You're in the middle, right, left?
I'm in the position where I would vote for Trump, but I'm lazy. So I don't know if I'm going to get outside.
You might not make it out.
I don't know. I think most people my age probably won't.
Yeah. It's like, as like in the college like era, like I remember when I was in college, no one gave a fuck about politics. No one cared. Like we all voted for Obama, but then like nobody cared and no one ever talked about it. Right. And like, I don't know if it was. And then around 2016, I was a little bit older. And also I feel like everyone started caring more. Like in the young age of like around like Lubbock and in college ages, like are people talking about politics? Or like really?
Slightly, yeah. There's a little bit of it. I think for Lubbock, it's funny because Lubbock's just definitely more. It's not even like left. It's definitely right because it's Texas, in the middle of Texas. So you get a lot of the right people. I think a lot of them definitely are not going to be the type of people though who actually goes to the polls to vote. It's not something you do when you're that young.
Yeah, it's like a long ass line and like some.
Yeah, it's oh my god.
You're like hungover.
Some video games.
Yeah, but dude, what's your favorite like YouTube channel?
My favorite YouTube channel?
Like yeah, or like your favorite YouTuber.
Oh, favorite YouTuber. Definitely Valuetainment, like Patrick.
Dude, he was on my podcast, Patrick.
Yeah, I met him in person because I'm in Dallas. My buddy, actually, my roommate, he is pretty much the assistant production manager of that company and everything. And so like we went to like a charity baseball game, and then I met Patrick in person and everything. And I talked to him, and he was like, it's definitely, you could tell it's cool with him because you can tell like in the room almost like he gets all the attention, right?
Yeah.
It's the charisma he has. So definitely I think like the YouTube channel, his tips, I definitely utilize a lot. And then also as a person, he's pretty cool.
Was that guy's name Kai? Like yeah. Like we've been like paying attention to Patrick Bet David shit, and he's in Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the man. And that's funny that you said he grabs all the attention. I did a podcast with him and I was like, just like, damn, this guy is the fucking man. Like there's something. And
they're planning on going to Miami. I think they're all moving to Miami.
Really?
I think Patrick's stepping down from PHP, his company, and they're going to go full force with Valuetainment soon. So,
because I know that, like I asked him that on his podcast when I had him, and he didn't answer the question directly. But I asked him like, what do you spend more time on? Where do you get more revenue from? Valuetainment or like your actual business?
His actual business.
Yeah, I think his actual business too. But he kind of just said like, I could do two things. If the president of the United States can do two things. He didn't answer the question directly, but I'm always interested in people who, I guess, kind of like me and on a much smaller level. I spend 95% of my time running my company. Mm-hmm. And then like a podcasting thing is just kind of for fun, but I feel like that's maybe where he started. And then over time it took off.
I think he's just super hard worker. Like I know, for example, like when I was roommates with Kai, what would happen was where I would be like, we would be like, hanging out in our living room.
You were roommates with him.
Yeah, we were roommates. When I first moved out to Dallas, we actually ended up roommating with each other. And what happened was where it would be like late, like 7 or 8 p.m. at night, right? He would randomly get a call from Patrick, and he'll answer, be like, "Yo, what's up?" And then Patrick's like, "Hey, we're actually filming tonight. Can you come down to the office so we can film?" Like, I'm like, and then my buddy like Kai, he's like drunk. He's like, "Oh crap!" So we're like, "All right." So I have to drive him there, drop him off. Yeah.
Good thing you had you as a roommate.
Yeah. So they were like working nonstop. Patrick's the type of dude where, I mean, he's definitely like a really hard worker. Like he doesn't care what time it is. Like they'll stay up super late to get things done. So.
Absolutely, dude. I'm like that too. And I saw he was posting on Instagram lately, and someone said like, "Oh, I found Patrick Bet David's nanny," and I was like, "Yeah, I want to have a nanny one day," because like it's just like a lot of people I feel like they have kids, and then they're like take so much time with that. Like I'm not trying to slow down at all.
Yeah.
But I saw you said something on your Instagram or something lately where you're like, I'm surrounded by people that are like way more successful than me, right? Like, absolutely, like that's a best way to be. I understand that principle. Like, who are these people?
Yeah, I mean,
behind the scenes, like
a lot of them behind the scenes running like apparel companies, or they're running like just various, like one of them has a huge Snapchat network of followers and everything. Like most of them are making like $1 million a month.
And
so
like,
I'm over here like,
and you guys are like friends or whatever.
Yeah. Like we call like every other day or so. So it's one of those things where definitely it helps, because for me, like I used to read a book like every day when I was starting out. Right. But now my mentors are the people I get in calls with. Right. Like we always discuss things. So we're always learning off of each other. So that's where I get a lot of my today new knowledge about what's happening in the marketplace, what to take advantage of, all that. So it's definitely great. And I always try to like find new people that's at that high level to like talk to, you know?
So like a lot of people's like friends, especially around your age, are like people that they went to high school with, or their roommates. Like, are these people like locally near you or not really?
No, like
that's cool.
Miami.
That's cool.
Yeah, one's in Miami and one's in Toronto. Like they're all over the place, but like they're just people that we ran into over the internet because mutual friends, whatever. You know, it's one of those things where once you become valuable to someone else in a networking situation, then they refer you to someone. You know, it's just
Dude, I actually like, maybe you can as an older guy like me compared to you, like help me out with this. Like I in business all the time. I work around the clock, blah blah blah. I like hate like networking or like mastermind groups or like sitting down and having a conversation with somebody without a specific objective. Like sometimes I feel like that's a waste of time. Like I just got a DM from somebody who hit me up and they said, I was on their podcast before, and they said, yo, I just wanted to introduce you to this girl. She has like a big clothing line and she's a big TikTok. And like I thought I could like connect you two, and you guys could like connect and like talk about that stuff. And I'm like, I mean, I'm just gonna like chit chat. Like the podcast, I get to do chit chatting, and that's like cool because it's a podcast. But like, I don't find the value in that because like I don't know. Like, do you ever find it's a waste of time to just chit chat with
it depends,
people?
But I'll give you an example. Those YouTubers I was hanging out with back in the day that we were getting calls with all the time. We literally like half of the time we were playing video games in calls, talking to each other. So
playing video games.
It was a mix. It was like,
gotcha.
It's like,
see, I never play video games because
one of my buddies, Preston, he has like over 13 million subscribers. I used to work for him and everything here in Dallas. And like, we would always talk about it. And he would tell me, hey man, like the new networking isn't golfing. The new network to get today is like gaming. So it's not,
dude, that's so interesting. That's so interesting.
Playing video games.
Cause like I have actually had a great podcast with great people. And I say to them like, well, like we're friends now. Like we're in touch. Like we know each other. We're in each other's networks. And then like, I don't talk to them anymore because like, we like I had this comedian on and like, I was trying to keep in touch with him and like, I hit him back up and I was like, yo, like, I would love to be in like one of your videos or something. He's like, yeah, maybe sometime. It has to happen organically. And I was like, all right. And then like, I just go on my day and like, I don't have a town square where like that relationship continues to build.
Yeah.
So
for me,
gaming is that's actually like pretty fucking insightful because I don't game.
My mentality is always just like pick up the phone and call one person a day that's high level. Because for me, even if there's no objective, because my mindset is I don't want to be the type of dude that comes to these guys when I need something. I want to be the type of dude that comes to them because I'm checking up on their not business, but personal life too. To build a real relationship, like an actual organic, real relationship, because then they're more likely, if I need something or something like that, they're more likely to do it for me, right? And like vice versa. So
what would you need from them? Like, what do you need from a friend? Like, I guess
never know. That's the thing. You never know. So it's better to plant those seeds and make sure they're still growing than it is to just let them die and then you come to them when it's already dead. You know?
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that's something I need to work on because like through this podcast, I am building like relationships with people. Like I feel like I know you now, and then like maybe I'll like comment a fire emoji on one of your stories or something like that. But like, I don't know, I'm not a gamer, so I'm not gonna like, I'm probably not going to game you
exactly.
after this.
And
So
well,
it's
that's
like,
the thing. Whenever someone does like the fire emoji, like I get probably like 20 other YouTubers that send that to me, right? On my story.
does that like mean something to you?
Well, that's the problem, right? You got to look at it from an angle of when it's 20 people, right? Then it's just another person at that point. So that's why for me, I'm like, no one picks up the phone and calls that person and just talks to them about life. You know what I mean? No one does that. And so it becomes a better connection when you do it that way.
Damn.
And so that's why I do it.
It's almost like inefficient for to like call someone and just say, hey, how you doing? Like, I guess like maybe that's more me and my personality.
Well, it could just be 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be an hour. Just 15 minutes. How you doing, man? Like, good, just checking up on you. Is there anything you need? Blah, blah, blah. Just so they know you exist.
That's interesting. You have a lot of Instagram followers. How many Instagram followers do you have?
Like 52K, I think now.
So like, since you're a faceless like YouTuber, like where are most of those followers from?
Ads. Like we're running like, Millionaire Mentor of like 6 million followers. So we run a ton of ads on their account now. So
like, what do you mean ads?
Like influencer promos. So like you give them a photo, they post it, and they tag you.
Gotcha. So that's how you do it. And like that's just valuable to you because I like when people say that the modern day business card is just like your Instagram profile. So if someone wants to considering using your YouTube automation course and they're just checking you out as a person, like they check your Instagram profile, you got a lot of followers. And that's like the benefit of that. And that's so when you say ads, when I say ads, I think of the Facebook and Instagram ad platform. Do you ever use the Google ad platform for anything with YouTube?
No. Well, sometimes I'll do retargeting. Right now we're not running any, but sometimes I go back and forth and I'll run retargeting ones, but not cold traffic. Because retargeting, goes for the warm people who already knows who you are.
Yeah. So people who don't know, Google owns YouTube. And if you want to run ads, you have to go through the Google ad platform. Like I spent over $4 million on Facebook ads, Facebook and Instagram running ads for my business to generate revenue. And I don't do a lot on Google, but like, what about if I wanted to get a bunch of views on my video and I wanted to run Google ads? Like, do you know a lot about that or not really?
Yeah. I mean, so what I know is that it depends on the niche that you're going into, but typically it kills the video. You can still get subscribers from it because you're running ads.
Why does it kill the video?
So it's like, for example, most people who just saw you for the first time are not going to like you, like some of them, right? So they kind of watch the video for like a few minutes and they get really tired of it. They're bored, whatever, they move on. So you're kind of like, you're forcing people who probably would have never really watched you in the first place to watch your content in a way. And what ends up happening is obviously that hurts YouTube's organic side.
So like, fuck this guy. He's forcing himself on me.
Yeah. So it doesn't affect the overall channel. It just affects that specific video you're running it out.
And an ad on YouTube is like a pre-roll, right? Like shows up in like the little ad thing. So if YouTube Premium or Red, you don't even see it. Damn, dude, that is that's very insightful. All the shit. Like you've seen me like DMing you a few times. Like, what is this YouTube automation? What is it? And like I think that it is harder than you make it sound, and I think you make it sound easy. But also, I understand it much better now. And like, is there a bunch of people out there who are narrators just waiting for jobs or script writers just waiting for jobs? That's a thing? That's a thing?
There's a lot. Yeah.
Really? That's a thing. Because I mean, dude, 30 to $40 to $100. Like I pay this chick to like add like these previews. It's like some coding on my website. I pay her like $50 per code. And we have like, on Upwork, it says like how much money you've paid. I've paid her like $10,000-$15,000. I mean, it's valuable work and stuff, but like, and it's probably more rare work, but maybe not. Maybe I just need to like go seek more for people who do that stuff. But so you have got great at being amazing at finding niches, knowing exactly what you do, and then also the outsourcing part of it. Becoming proficient in that field, knowing who the good narrators are, having someone you can just pull out of your pocket, be like, yo, can you narrate this video? Yo, can you edit this video? Yo, can you write the script? And then, yo, can you think of the next concept for a video? Damn, that is a powerful one out of all of them, because that takes understanding and talent and skill. And you said those are the people you know more personally, that you've made friendships with through the internet and gaming and your personal relationships and surrounding yourself with smart people.
Yeah.
You're a smart guy, dude. Where are you gonna go in the future? Where do you see yourself when you're a 40-year-old young man?
Definitely gonna be sticking around with YouTube for another 3 years at least. I don't see any going anywhere for at least another 3 years. So definitely gonna be sticking around with YouTube. But right now we're trying to go into real estate probably next year. So I'm just trying to like look into like ways to diversify and just get to know different business models that creates a level of passive income. There's no such thing as complete passive income, but a level of passive income. So I don't.
So you make real money. You make real money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, that's awesome, man. That's awesome for a 20-year-old with just being on YouTube. Like, when you are going on these flights and shit, like you're paying for the flights, like do your parents give you money?
No.
Like,
yeah. I actually ended up buying my sister a car. So
I saw that you bought your sister a car. Like, I see you rocking your nice car. What kind of car do you have?
A Camaro.
Oh, dude, that sucks. You should get a Tesla.
I'm trying to get a Corvette next, the mid-engine one.
You're a car guy?
A little bit, not like crazy, but a little bit.
I'm not a car guy at all. I don't give a shit about cars, but I have a Tesla Model 3, and dude, it drives itself.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy driving?
I enjoy driving. Yeah, that's definitely something I enjoy.
Dude, what do you like about it?
I like the.
You can't watch it.
The sound. I like the sound. Man.
The Tesla's silent, very silent.
I don't like that. I mean, I like the speed. The Tesla's really fast. I like that.
Picks up.
Yeah, but I do enjoy just the sound, like the sound and the look of like a muscle car.
That's so grandpa, old school.
Yeah,
you got to drive it. That's so archaic to me. Dude, it really the driverless shit really works. I love the Tesla for that reason only, just because of the driverless shit. Because I am a productive efficiency guy, and I want to be getting shit done when I'm in the car. Like I can be finishing up an Instagram post. I could be doing shit literally while I'm driving. And I used to get yelled at all the time, almost getting crashes. But now it goes, you hit it twice on the side, it goes beep, boop. And then you're just, it's the blue line.
I mean, well, for me, like I'm always like constantly on my phone trying to get things done. Like
you can't do that. You can't do that if you're driving.
Yeah. So that's why I like driving, because in my head, I just never pick up my phone. So it's that way for me to like kind of dial it down and think thoughts and everything.
That's your meditation. Yeah, I meditate every day, but that's your little bit of like, that's your little bit of time.
Yeah.
But dude, that's very honorable. So you're making real money. And that's why you are in the future, like I said, what do you want to do when you're older? You're talking about investing in real estate. Mm-hmm. And dude, I mean, I see no doubt why you won't be a very successful guy. But as far as a personal brand, like, do you have like an ego for fame? Do you want to be like known as Caleb Boxx, or do you just want to be more like a rich, like more silent guy, or what?
I think for me, it's always been like my mission has always been I want to help young college kids. Definitely that, because I think especially with what's put into our heads growing up with the whole degree and all that stuff. And I see a lot of my friends not get a single good job out of it. So I think for me, it's more so trying to grow my audience over time, accumulate money, and then, have the real estate, creating all the passive income behind the scenes, be able to use that one day to really motivate and help those kids to understand what actually like how to make actual money outside of a degree instead of getting into debt. So I think that's my main mission long-term.
Yeah, I am not sure if college will be an important thing in the future, which I'm kind of worried about, because not everyone's like you. And some people need to like leave their home, do their own laundry, move and meet new people. Like, I think that's a very important part for like.
Have you been to college like town? Have you like checked out? Yeah.
I mean, I went to college. Like, it was the most amazing 4 years of my life.
Well, what's crazy to me was like I recently went there, and so for example, the apartments, the real estate, the campus real estate, the way they have it set up in the apartments, they don't take care of it at all. They don't even clean it. I went into my apartment like recently, to my second apartment to like move in. There was like a pigeon poop everywhere.
Yeah,
I'm like, what? I'm like, what? So, but the thing is, college kids just accept it. So they're making so much money off of these college kids.
Buy real estate there.
Exactly.
I lived in a frat house, and that was good. With my senior year, I moved out. And they told us it was going to be one price. Then we went to go meet with them. They jacked the price up on us, and we were like, oh, okay. And then I remember I kicked a hole in the wall once, my fault. But they came to fix it. And I paid for it and everything. But the next day I came back, and there was like, it was done, but there was dust everywhere, sheets everywhere. They treat college kids like shit, and they can upcharge.
And the funny part is, all the parents pay for it.
Yeah, so exactly. Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, man, it's perfect, because now you got the parents giving you like money out of it's just crazy.
That's a good place to invest in real estate, unless college goes away over time, but
True.
then it'll still be good real estate in like a cool area.
Yeah.
But damn, dude, I'm impressed with what you're doing. I'm very happy I got to talk to you and like got a little bit more details about what you're doing, because I was always a little like confused and just like wanted to get more details. So I know you had a lot of stuff where you're like learn more. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna ask him in person. But I've got your sister. You got any more siblings besides you and your sister?
We have another sister.
Damn. Does she want to come on the podcast?
She's not in the business.
All right. Well, maybe I won't have the trio then, but I got you and your sister on the podcast. That's awesome. And any parting words, any final thoughts to the listeners?
I think that's it. I think it's just about, at the end of the day, it's just trying to learn from successful people and being consistent. You know, if you give up too soon, you're not going to get it. I think for me, I made so many channels when I started out and they didn't go anywhere. So it's one of those things where it's just like, you got to keep at it, keep adapting your strategy. Eventually you hit it.
Damn. Love it, dude. You're a smart ass dude. And, hey, I will try to stay in touch with you more than just the fire emojis. But we're not going to be playing Call of Duty together.
Right.
And maybe I'll ask you some YouTube questions or something like that.
Sounds
but dude, it's been great talking to you. I appreciate the time.
You too.
Later, bro.